Hello, YouTube. It's me, new guy. Uh, it's me, Slim Jimmy, the man. Here we are with a time lapse, I guess, of a Procreate drawing that I did. It's up on Instagram, my website, other places. I'll probably have that in the description. I used a lot of references for this thing because this is Skyrim, obviously, as you can see from the reference layer. Um, Yeah, I had to fit the res. So what I did was here for the map here is it's an isometric grid. I used an isometric grid to you know give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of perception, not perception, perspective. Sorry, I don't know what words are. Um, so yeah, this is my little map of Skyrim from the Elder Scrolls game, obviously. This is a long video. It's gonna be like what, 15 minutes. It's got a lot of drawing, a lot of redrawing too. I did a lot of redrawing for this map. I don't know. I feel like I always get shit wrong. I always get stuff wrong because it's like it's hard to do maps of existing things. That's why I use so many references. Later on in the video, I actually grabbed the game map, the physical 3D game map, and distorted it to make it fit on the grid. That was mostly to help me with the locations, though, to get the locations in the right spot. Because my idea for this map originally was to make the locations, the right size, to have them the correct size that they actually were in the game. Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen a map like this before, and that's usually how I start my processes. Is has this been done before? If it has, then maybe it's not the best idea. But if it hasn't, then I can work from there. You know. Um. So yeah, this map took, I don't know. I mean, the time lapse is 15 minutes, and I just took this directly from my iPad because I use the iPad Pro, Procreate. So I just took the time lapse feature and exported it. I don't know why, but sometimes it gets a little pixelated in the playback. I'm hoping that goes away if I once I export the video. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case. Here we go. Yeah, this is where I used that 3D version. Made me realize a few things that were wrong, actually, as I was going. I started to creep the mountains a little farther south to give them a little more depth, a little more thickness, make them look, bigger. As I worked, I realized that shading was probably the most important thing in this map because it's so perspective based. Sorry, my computer wants to update. Yeah, this map is so perspective. Yeah, here's why I started the icons. Icons were definitely the focal point in this one, if not the labeling, then the icons. Because they're the part where because like the way that I do the map is in 3 stages. I like to zoom out a lot when I'm doing the basics at first, the foundation, because then you can get a full view, you can get a good read on how it'll look, and then the next stage is usually what are you looking at second? What's the next thing you look at when you look closer at a piece? So the icons were definitely the part that I wanted to be in that zone of like, well, yeah, it's cool to look at from a distance, but then when you look closer, the icons should be the focal point. Which I'm not very good at it yet. I'm not an artist. I'm working on that, though. This is the first round of shading that I did. You'll see that I jump from thing to thing when I'm working. So like here's I'm doing line art again, or I'm doing shading for a little bit, and then it changes. I never work in a straight line. Just I never work with a plan. I am not a planner. That's for sure. I tried this thing where I put snow caps on all of the mountains here. I didn't like it, though. I really didn't like it. It felt weird. It felt like it didn't fit. Even though there are regions in the south part of the game that actually do have more snow than in the middle. Like, as you can see from that 3D version. But, I don't know. It didn't work. I needed some way to distinguish the north from the rest of the map. Yeah, I went through a lot of stages with colors and values and whatnot. It's really hard to tell what I'm doing here. I'm sorry about that. The reference layer is it dominates the screen whenever I have it up, unfortunately. I gotta work on that. I heard about Procreate starting a feature where it hides the reference layers if you label them as a reference feature or a reference layer. I haven't tried that or seen it I've seen it actually work where the layer actually doesn't show up in the time lapse. But I mean, that would be a very valuable feature if I could label it as a reference layer and it wouldn't show up in my drawing. So I can actually make videos. Because that's what has stopped me from making videos in the past is reference layers. Since I use them a lot. I think every artist uses them. It's just not, I don't know, not as much as I am. Here I'm doing more icons. This is Mark Arth over in the left. I spent a long time on these icons and I still don't feel like I nailed them. But I guess that's part of improving. You're never going to feel like you actually perfected something. This is Windhelm that I'm doing now. I did the icons in a few stages. There's the sketch layer, there's the line art layer, and then there's the color layer. I didn't do a separate shading layer. I just included the shading and the color. So I just, chose a darker shade of each color. I will do separate shading layers, but not for those. These are the forests, which I still don't have a style for doing forests yet. Here I just left the reference on for some reason. There we go. God, watching me work is not fun. Anyway, how are you guys? I'm good. It's like middle of the afternoon here. Just, I've had this file for a while, so I just wanted to put this up. And instead of doing music, why not talk? Because that's what everybody wants, right? That's what you wanted. I did choose a different color for the rift because the trees are kind of that yellowish color. It is a different region. Thought that was kind of cool. I don't think every bit of this drawing is in this file, unfortunately, because I did add the cliffs in the east between East March and the Rift. I don't know if I added them in this file or not. I hope I did. because that was a part of the thing that was part of the file that frustrated me. The piece, like, I wanted to put it in, but I didn't think it fit, and then I finally just did it, and it worked out okay. Here I tried to do it with just mountains. Didn't work though. Not nearly as well as it should. Yeah. This is where I'm trying to... I tried to distinguish between the like Skyrim and the surrounding provinces in this little area, because I wanted the idea here is that there's almost like a spotlight on it, and it also shows off more of the perspective as well, because, you know, it shows the parts that are not... I don't know, it's just the angle of it. It makes it look kind of perspective. I like perspective. I like making things look 3D because it looks cool. It just looks cool. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm doing the drawing, the dragon. I just traced it because I didn't know what to do for like something that's small. It was real hard to get the line art down, so I traced it. Whatever. I could have drawn it, but honestly, I wanted to get this done quicker, and I didn't want to spend half an hour drawing it. Yeah. I went and got some references. The references that I got were not the right angle, unfortunately. I thought about distorting the image to make it into the right angle, but I couldn't really do that. So I just went with it. It looks okay. Not fantastic. I don't know what just happened. I had an epileptic seizure. There was so much flashing on the screen there. Let me know in the comments if it's getting pixelated or not once I export it. I don't know why Procreate time lapses do that, but that's annoying. I'm doing a lot. Oh, here there's a lot of color. A lot of color work. Getting the values right. I darkened the layer of the, borders, because I wanted it to look more like a spotlight, I guess. I don't know. God, I do this thing in Procreate where I turn layers off and on again, like a lot, and it looks so crazy in the time lapse because it's just it goes so fast. It makes me look like a crazy person. It's not that fast, I promise. I'm not just clicking it rapidly. Here I'm drawing Riften. There were multiple times in this piece, because I don't plan well, that I just totally forgot that, like, certain towns were a thing. I just totally was like, oh, oh yeah, Shore's Stone, that's a thing. I forgot Helgen. Helgen was a thing. That's like one of the last things I did, was Helgen. Even though that's the first location you see in the whole game. God, this game is so old at this point, isn't it? What, like, 2011? Is when it came out? 2011. And they still haven't made another one. Okay, I did put the cliffs in. That's what I'm doing now. Good, because it's an important part. It also gives it a lot of perspective, I think. It's important. A couple people on my Instagram asked if I was going to do Cyrodiil. I'm not going to do Cyrodiil, because one reason is that the game map itself, like, the game was made in 2006. it's old. It's not like Skyrim is so much bigger and so much so much better of a like proportional map. Like Cyrodiil, the entire northern region of Cyrodiil is just downhill. So I don't know. I could do it, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it. We'll see. I don't want to just because it's old. It's hard to it's hard to fit into a map like this. And there's the final. After all the color work. Thanks for watching. Bye.